Hi, everybody, and welcome to an episode of United Talks podcast. And you are on the reaction show when we're reacting to basically players who featured during the international break. Yeah, we've done a deep dive, and as I promised you, we talked about every detail with regards to that and all of that. So yeah, as you're seeing this, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. We'll continue to build, we'll continue to evolve, we'll continue to grow together as a community. And thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe. Now, we've done a deep dive into every player who featured, from the senior stars leading their nations to youngsters, getting their first taste of international stage. And basically, what we found was pretty interesting, basically. Especially on the international stage, was both a powerful optimism and some, troubling realities that the club must address immediately. First, there is the attacking spark that goes from loaned and looked over and the looked over. So from loan players to looked over. If United had been missing one thing domestically, it's the clinical edge, the killer instinct in front of goal. Thankfully, the international window saw that instinct flash back to life, basically, though perhaps not from players you would expect. So we start with the crucial goal that, will excite many fans, and that is Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund obviously is on loan in Napoli, but, Højlund stepped up for Denmark in their decisive 3-1 victory over Greece. His goal wasn't a worldie, but it was a pure striker instinct. Just 20 minutes into the game, Greece's Christos Zaferis played a loose ball back to the keeper, and Højlund was on it. He basically seized the moment, took a single crucial touch, and poked the ball past Odysseus Vlachodimos, basically, and into the far post. And it was, Opocha's finish, capitalizing on defensive error. This goal was vital, not just for Denmark, but also Højlund's psyche, confirming that his inherent goal-scoring sharpness is alive and well, building critical confidence ahead of the eventual return to the main squad. Seeing as he's on loan at Napoli, we shall continue to observe. But he wasn't only one finding the net. Bryan Mbeumo also confirmed his red-hot form. Mbeumo, coming off the bench for Cameroon, sealed a 2-0 victory over Mauritius with a stoppage time goal. Scoring instantly as a substitute in an invaluable, scoring instantly as a substitute is an invaluable trait, showing that he can actually impact the game immediately, which speaks volumes about his consistency, and his confidence, especially showing his 2 club goals just before the break. So we will observe, that one, and obviously we look forward to him being in red hot form against Liverpool. Meanwhile, Benjamin Šeško logged crucial minutes for Slovenia. He played the full 90 minutes in a demanding 0-0 qualification draw against Kosovo, which I watched and we analyzed in one of our live streams. While he didn't score in that particular fixture, getting through a tough physical 90 minutes against resolute defense ensures that he matches fitness, ensures that his match fitness ensures that he is actually match fit and provides valuable experience in high stakes qualification environments. And he was set for another tough test against Switzerland later in the window. And in short, the strikers involved in the international break provided 3 things United desperately needed: goals, confidence, and match sharpness. And I think in that Switzerland game later in the window, they played a 0-0 draw as well. And there's the next one later in November, which they'll face in Switzerland again, the same qualifiers and stuff. So yeah. Now, with regards to the Portuguese paradox and creative burden and workload, now we turn our hearts to the heart of the team. We turn to the heart of the team. The 2 Portuguese internationals, Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot, both were named in the strong starting lineup for Portugal's 1-0 victory against Republic of Ireland in Lisbon. Portugal controlled the narrative of that match, dominating possession and restricting Ireland to just 2 off-target shots. While they left it late for Rúben Neves to score the winner, the crucial observation here is that both Fernandes and Dalot were substituted during the second half, while this could actually, simply be manager Roberto Martinez managing the workload of key players. It also points to a deeper concern about the cumulative physical demand on Fernandes in particular, and why this is so. Why is this so important? That's the question you might ask. Because when we look at the domestic numbers, we see a player carrying an almost impossible creative burden. An almost impossible creative burden for the club. Prior to the break, Bruno Fernandes topped the entire Premier League list for the overall chances created, laying on 19 opportunities for his teammates, 2 more than Jack Grealish, obviously. However, here is the paradox with the whole situation. The stat that defines the club's current struggle: despite leading the league in 19 chances created, Bruno Fernandes is still awaiting his first Premier League assist of the current campaign. So we look forward to him having that opportunity to do that against Liverpool. So we'll keep our eye out on that and observe as it goes. This isn't the problem with effort or creativity. I mean, the volume is elite. But this suggests one or two things. Either his teammates are failing to convert the chances he provides, or the quality of the chances, despite the high volume, isn't enough. Always a big chance. I mean, isn't always of the big chance variety. So his substitution in a tight international game, coupled with the massive creative burden, suggests that his workload needs careful management going forward, or the team risks burnout of their singular creative engine. Now, with regards to X factors and stuff, we're going to talk about like another attacker, and we're going to talk about the return of elite technical profiles. Another huge positive from the break concerns Ahmad. Basically, he was named in the senior Ivory Coast squad for the fixtures against Seychelles Island and Seychelles and Kenya. This is significant because he had been granted a short absence from the club just prior to the break following a family bereavement, and his selection confirms that his successful return to professional duty and focus, a crucial step for the young winger. But let's look at the numbers for why Ahmad's reintegration should be a priority. His technical profile is exceptional. He registers 5.50 progressive carries per 90, ranking him in the 92nd percentile amongst wingers and attacking midfielders. This means that he is one of the best in Europe with regards to carrying the ball forward, breaking lines, and turning defense into attack. Furthermore, his pass completion percentage stands at a staggeringly reliable 84.5%, placing him in the 95th percentile. Now, Ahmad offers dynamic line-breaking solution that the club desperately needs when facing deep line organized defenses. So if the team can harness his elite ball carrying and high reliability, it could provide the perfect complement for Bruno Fernandes' distribution, ease the captain's creative load as well. If they can actually score goals as well, that could also help. And he's already forming that bond and that connection between him and Bryan Mbeumo on that right side of Manchester United's attack or defense, as the case may be. If you add Benjamin Sesko to that triangle, there's a very huge connection. Ahmad, the keeper, floats the ball to Benjamin Sesko, who flicks it to Mbeumo, and Ahmad is already making an overlapping run. And then when Mbeumo gets into the box, he's probably crossing the ball to Cunha or Mount on the other side or something. So it depends on how that connection happens, that triangle between Ahmad, Mbeumo, and Cunha, and Ahmad, Mbeumo, and Benjamin Sesko. So if we're going to look at the defensive stability, obviously there's the Onana clean sheet caveat here. Moving to defensive side, André Onana, obviously currently on loan with Trabzonspor, secured a clean sheet in Cameroon's 2-0 victory against Mauritius, the same game in which Bryan Mbeumo scored. Now, a clean sheet is always a positive indicator, but we need to look deeper into the overall statistical profile, which paints a more concerning picture. Onana's save percentage this season stands at 62.9%. 69.2%, placing him only in the 40th percentile among comparable goalkeepers. Even more concerning, his clean sheet percentage sits at 18%, ranking him in the 21st percentile. Hence why I think Manchester United had to send him on loan. He does not fit basically to be in this team or this squad, as the case may be. But whatever happens, we have Seno Lamens, which we signed, or who we signed, basically. So while a clean sheet against a lower ranked international opponent is welcome, these club statistics suggest that his reliability under sustained pressure is statistically below the median. And this isn't just about Onana. It means that the international clean sheet should be viewed as an outlier, and the real focus must remain on the system's dynamic defensive vulnerabilities. Also, Onana is said to have kept 2 clean sheets in Turkey as well. So, and then obviously another thing again that is a worry for the club, which we have to address as well, is that the club is conceding too many shots of high quality, forcing the keeper to perform miracles far too often, and this structure around him needs immediate optimization to reduce the volume of shots faced. So even when we face very few shots, those few shots that we face are high quality shots. Example, a team can have 3 shots on goal and 2 of those shots will go in and all that. Now, as far as backup keepers or mainstays go, obviously, considering how many games he's played this season, Bryan was with the Turkey squad for their matches against Bulgaria and Georgia, but his club match logs prior to the break showed varied results. A 1-3 loss followed by the 2-0 win, and then Scanlon was named in the Belgian squad for their World Cup qualifiers, although he remains patiently awaiting his first senior cap, having been an unused substitute twice before, right? So, obviously now, the future is now basically, we're talking about our under-21s and their accelerated developments. Now, finally, with the international break, it was massive for the under-21s, a massive success for the club's development pathway, with several young players making significant jumps in experience. 2 young players in particular accelerated their development by gaining senior international minutes. First is Patrick Dorgu, a talented wing-back, gained valuable senior minutes for Denmark, replacing Gustav Isaacsen in the 76th minute for their 3-1 victory over Greece. To be deployed in a wing-back role in a competitive senior fixture validates his physical and technical maturity, testing his discipline and intensity at the highest level. Also, he scored a goal in the international break as well, in the first game that he played. So it's good positive, but hopefully he's able to also translate it to club football where he can create chances and all of that, especially on Liverpool's right-hand side, where they seem to be using a midfielder in the right. If they use a wing-back in the right, then he can also take part in playing, going over that defender, especially if they're using the right wing-back and all of that. So, yeah. The second academy forward, basically, is James Scanlon. I've followed James Scanlon for a long time. I did a video last season where we talked about players who will save Manchester United, and James Scanlon is one of them. He has immense high quality exploring high quality exposure as well by playing over 90 minutes for Gibraltar senior side in their 3-0 defeat against Croatia. While a defeat, the value of playing full match against a World Cup caliber opponent like Croatia cannot be overstated. I mean, it forces a rapid development in tactical awareness and physical endurance far beyond the level of standard youth football. Now, on the under-21 front, defensive prospect Lenny Yoro continues to impress as well. Like I said before that, James Scanlon has shown immense ability and all of that, and he's been kept within the team and the academy so he can actually further develop, and long may continue, and I hope that he's able to find his way into the team and find a place to play in the senior team, because he's already playing senior football, albeit at Gibraltar. No disrespect to the country's first team. Now, with regards to under-21s further, defensive prospect Lenny Yoro continues to impress, playing for France's under-21 against Faroe Islands. He delivered what was, universally described as a calm and composed display. This positive qualitative assessment reaffirms that his potential as a future cornerstone of the senior defensive line is there, right? Other notable youth call-ups include Diogo León, who made his debut last night. He was also flagged as a player who could make his senior international debut during the break in Asia. But he made his debut last night and played, and he was pretty impressive, as people must have noted. But he played few minutes. There's also the Isaac Stacey Strong, who was noted in the context of international action on October 13th. Also, to talk about, just to conclude this whole, analysis and all of that, we have to talk about the momentum and the task ahead. So, what is the final verdict of this October 25, 2025 international break, especially for the players that went on international break? The club gained much needed psychological boost from the goal scoring confidence of Bryan Mbeumo. And obviously, the news about Rasmus Højlund scoring, so we can't understate that as well. They have an immediate tactical solution also. Might not have an immediate tactical solution in Ahmad. Getting game time and match fitness would be very crucial for the game against Liverpool in the weekend. His elite ball carrying skills must be integrated to support a clearly fatigued but highly productive Bruno Fernandes. I won't lie to you, Bruno Fernandes in that last Portugal game, he looked a bit fatigued and stuff. The youth pathway is also thriving with Patrick Dorgu and Scanlon making critical leaps into senior football. Scanlon has been playing senior football for the last 3 years, I believe. Yeah, last 3 years. And all that. He was subs 2 years ago, and last year he was playing like first team, playing full games, full 90 minutes and all that. However, the team returns to Premier League action and is still facing the same core challenge: how to reconcile, their captain's league-leading creative output with the statistically subpar defensive structure suggested by the goalkeeping metrics. The international break provided momentum in attack and validation for the youth, but deep-seated defensive issues facing the club have not been resolved or solved simply by a single clean sheet abroad. Obviously, Onana is no longer part of the team, so we can't talk about that, but it is what it is. Now, the task ahead for the coaching staff, obviously, is to manage the workload of the engine room, unleash the technical talents returning to the fold, and fundamentally overhaul the defensive system. And now the break is over. Now the real work begins. Now, over this block of games between now and the next international break in the second week of November, Man United have to grind out some wins. And then with Liverpool on the horizon, we have to also do our best to ensure that we win games like that. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we analyze and we go deeper into things like these. We will continue to bring you deep dives like this. But yeah, I had to react to all the players who went on international break, and this is the first of its kind. But we're able to find some data and we're able to analyze some things as we look towards the next block of games before the next international break in November, which is the final international break before the new year. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we build towards this. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate this community greatly, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.